Good afternoon, guys. This is Guitar Worm here with a motorcycle review. This is my 2013 Victory Hardball. Okay, and in case you're wondering, it is the exact same as the Victory Cross Country without a fairing, and the fact it's blacked out. Victory also made the Victory Crossroads for a few years, which is also the same bike, not blacked out. Okay, so they all have the same touring frame on them. For reference, I am 6'3", and it fits me very comfortably. Being a tall guy, most bikes don't fit me. I feel too scrunched. Even a lot of the touring bikes, I still feel too crowded on. You can see I got tons of room. These bars roll back or go forward, so you can put them up a little higher. I was thinking about moving them up now. It's got the huge floorboards on it. Victory always had the biggest floorboards and saddlebags when they were making bikes. So you can either sit with your feet right underneath you. You can, put them a little more forward, and a lot of times when I'm out on the highway and stuff, I'll actually stretch my feet all the way out. I don't even think I could put highway bars on this. I don't think my feet would fit, but it's still a low enough center of gravity that it's very nimble. I'll talk about that some more later. It's very easy to throw around, but even if you were, honestly, even if you're 5'8", 5'10", I don't think you would have any problem handling this bike. It handles very well. Okay. I'll start it up so you can get a feel for the sound. First time I filmed, I thought the bike actually probably sounded a little beefier on camera. I would say one of the, I don't know if it's a flaw, but I don't think it sounds as good as a Harley, your typical Harley with the good pipes. This has the stage 1 exhaust on it, so it's already been upped. I think it sounds good. I wouldn't mind a little beefier and a little louder, but no big deal. Saddlebags are amazing. I love how, you can come in closer, how much you can fit in these saddlebags. So here's my full armored jacket. I could easily put a pair of pants or a small jacket or shirts, pants, whatever on top of that. You can lock them, all right? So if I pull that out, you can see usually I got toilet paper in there if I need to blow my nose or anything else. And yeah, and I can leave stuff in here. I'll often leave a spare helmet or I'll leave a jacket in the bike at all times. I live in Southern Ontario, Canada. So it is, it can be hot one day, it can be freezing cold the next, it changes very quickly. So having a bike with saddlebags where you can leave those extras in there, I always toss a hoodie or something in there, is fantastic, and I use them all the time, okay? So not only would I recommend a touring bike if you're gonna take somebody with you, I'll talk about that in a second too. It makes a world of difference. I see all these guys on just a standard size bike and they got somebody on the back, and it's fine for a really short time. But my wife on my Suzuki Boulevard before this, she would only be good for like 20 minutes before she started to get uncomfortable. On this bike, she can ride for like an hour, easy, hour and a half, and she's okay. Get up, stretch, take a break, and she can keep going. It has the passenger floorboards as well. And then this seat is a quick release. So I can literally just go like this. And that seat pops off just like that. The windshield is on with 4 screws. I'm gonna go take a look at that. So I could take the windshield off in, just a couple minutes, as long as it takes to undo the screws. Actually, it'd be on the side here. So there's 2 on each side right here. So that's all it takes to take the windshield off. So just a minute or 2 to take the windshield off as well. And of course the bike looks a lot meaner and tougher when you do that. I'm on the edge of the country roads in a rural area. And so I'm often doing long distance going at high speed. So I prefer to have the windshield on most of the time. And I ride with an open face helmet, so. The speedo lights up at night too with a cool blue. Just go through some of the gauges, right? So you got your tripometer. The fuel gauge does not, see, you can see the bars on there. I'm trying to see this in the sun. It's very hard to see, so I'll just go through it. the fuel gauge, the bars, it quit working, it quit being accurate. So the bars will go down, but it's too slow. The bike's going empty before that, so I'm just watching my kilometers. I mean, it's an easy fix, but it's probably still, you know, 150 or 200 bucks, so I haven't had it done yet. So that's one of the flaws, is that the gas gauge doesn't work, and that's pretty common on, well, it's common on a lot of bikes, but it's definitely common on the Victories and the cross countries. So on this bike, guys, I get usually about, it's roughly 300 kilometers, and that's about 185 miles to a tank. I haven't pushed it right to empty. I've ridden other bikes around trying to see if I can get them to go right on empty. This one I haven't pushed, so I might be able to get further than that, but it can get to 300 kilometers safely on each tank. Alright guys, as you can see, I just pulled the windshield off in about 3 minutes. No big deal, and it's been a while since I've taken it off, so I'm amazed at how much better the bike does look. Definitely a lot more BA with no backrest, and which I kept calling the seat before, the backrest and the windshield off. So the pros of the bike, guys, besides the killer looks, which are obviously very subjective, it's the handling. Victories are so light. They feel, despite the weight, and I'm sure it's a 700-800 pound bike, I'd have to look that up, it handles unbelievably. My confidence is way higher riding this bike and turns and everything else than it was on my 800cc Suzuki. Okay, if my wife had her motorcycle license, I would totally get her to ride this. The size, you don't need to be intimidated by the size. And actually, now that I'm on a bike this big, I can't even imagine riding smaller, right? So the 106, I think it's like 1730 cc's, okay? So it's very quick, it's very powerful, but I don't feel like it's hard to handle at all. So it's very nimble for its size. I've ridden lots of other large motorcycles. My friend had a Honda VTX 1800, and that thing was a beast. And it was a nice bike, it looked great, and it, you know, it rode nice. But I would take the Victory 100 times over it. In fact, that friend now owns a Victory, and he thinks that the Victory is way better than the Honda for handling, okay? So very nimble, light, suspension is great. They're very long bikes, so it's definitely worth considering, right? I'm totally happy with it, and I would buy another Victory. I'd recommend a Victory to anybody. And if you like Harleys, you like Harleys. I like Harleys too. Their sound is going to be a little bit better. They're going to be a little torquier, but as far as handling and price, and looks, then it's up to you. But the Victory takes it for me.